Hi everybody, this is Diane. I am not a summer person. It's not my favorite season. I do not like the heat, so I never thought I'd make a summer journal. But I got so many cool retro summertime images from the stack of old National Geographics I bought either last year or the year before, that I decided I was gonna, sell this summer kit. And I thought, no, I want to use it. So I'm making 2 retro summer journals after much thought about how I would do it and do I really want to do it. And I know the covers now. So I'm going to show you some of my supplies and then we're going to work on covers. Well, I have this from an old magazine, an ad for Hollywood by the Sea in Florida. On the ocean, on the Florida East Coast Railroad, on the Dixie Highway. And there is a larger ad from a different magazine that'll go in the other journal. So I've already divided up images. So these are for one journal, and then there's another pile that's for the second journal. So you'll see. I'll just show them to you. I have these retro-looking reels. Now, they're all retro, but I love this. It just looks more retro. It says it's dated 1962, and it's Royal Gorge, Colorado, USA. So a place that you might visit on your summer vacation. A hot lime green sail tag, and then some of the vintage images from National Geographic and other old magazines. This is probably from a Woman's Home Companion, June 1940. A mother and daughter on the beach. There's the tally card that I guess I didn't pull this for the Lemonade Journal. Maybe I did, but anyway, I thought that would be fun in the summer journal. I had gotten a little booklet at the flea market last year of it must have come with a set of CDs for 1960s music. So I thought they would be fun to include a couple of these pages. It talks about some of the songs. This little doll from a craft magazine. She's wearing a summer outfit. This lady in her shorts and little swing coat on the beach. Swimsuit. A family on the beach. This one is from the Reader's Digest, or National Geographic. This is an ad for, I think we'll see the name of it in the other collection of pieces. There were Evinrude or something like that. Yeah. There's several boat images for advertisements. There's some recipe cards. There's a picnic ad, not an ad, but an image from a magazine. Oh yes, it's a 7-Up ad. This is just from a calendar. I got this page in a Happy Mail. It's a garden. Here's another Evinrude ad. The water skiers and the women watching them. This little souvenir card from Florida with a palm tree. This is a card announcing the big annual picnic meeting in 1931. There will be baseball and horseshoe and polo and a chicken dinner for $1, and then the regular meeting. What was it for? American Legion. Some summertime postcards. There's the beach, some seagulls, SeaWorld on the beach in Wildwood, that's New Jersey. And then these will be pages in the book. Pepsi-Cola. And then another Evinrude ad, National Geographic. And this ladies' magazine from 1954, the little girl on the beach with her shovel. This came from a book about summertime, a large Christian book, and at picnic time, and a garden in a dish. And then I had this little booklet that I found at a flea market, and it had 2 of these folio pieces, and they came apart very easily. So there's no damage to them, as it was just lightly glued, and I was able to just pull it out. So here's one folio, and the other journal will get the other. These were just extras that I haven't divided up, so I don't know if I'll need these or not, but they're in there if I do. Just some leftover things. This is not divided up. I just used these pages to separate. These are some of the cardstock pieces that I had, excuse me, that I had pulled for the lemon journals, but they'll work for summer journals as well. And this was not pulled for the lemon journal, but it's obviously a good summer fruit journal. And then I went through my pattern book, my big pattern book, and pulled out pages of people of all ages in swimsuits and shorts. These aren't divided up or anything. So I've got a bunch. Some of them I'll probably save for patriotic journals. This is a card that I have of the waterfall in Ricketts Glen State Park. And some greeting cards of children playing in the summer. I don't know if they'll get used, but I have them out just in case. This is at an amusement park. I used to love going to the amusement park in the summer. We had one, well, it's in Waverly, New York, right near where I live, but I grew up in the country. So it was about, I don't know, there's a highway now where they didn't used to be, so it probably took over half an hour to get there, but you know, that's pretty close. It's just a small little amusement park, Fraley's Amusement Park in Waverly. And then there was a slightly bigger one in Elmira, New York called Eldridge Park. And Eldridge Park was famous for its carousel. So we went to Fraley's more often than we did Eldridge because it was a little further away. It's still not far. Some children playing with a boat in the pond. And these children on a swing. And then some bigger pages. I didn't want to cut them because I didn't know which side I wanted, or maybe I would use the whole page. I don't know. So I brought them in here with me so I can make that determination later. And some more cardstock pieces. The stripes, the blue, the water. And the other images that I have. This one is Quebec City. Here's another tally card. The 60s music pieces. Some young people with their surfboards. These are from older magazines. The 30s. Another Evinrude ad. This is from National Geographic. I just really love the vintage look to that, the way it's colorized. There's that Evinrude ad. I think it's the same as the other one, but the other one wasn't a full page like that. It was cut off. This is a really old, it was a movie star scrapbook that I had gotten. It's a lady on the beach with an umbrella behind her. It's from that calendar. Some Florida grapefruit. This is the front of that summer 60s or super 60s music collection. Here's a long postcard. Some pelicans. These people are on the beach in Bushkill, Pennsylvania. Beautiful Pocono Mountains. Atlantic City. A family on the beach. Again, some little children and bigger kids. That's a Campbell Soup ad. And then these will be pages. I think this will be a page too, but I'll have to build it up. These are National Geographics. That'll be pages. That's a for camping from Coleman. Sing a Song of Summertime, that's why it's in there. Here's the other folio from this Butterick Fashion News. This is from 1974. And here's the larger Hollywood by the Sea ad. And that's it. I pulled out some of my dyed papers. Some I've dyed and some I've purchased. So I have these all ready. I think I'll use some of those pretty colors. So I know that there will be more kinds of pages I have to pull. Oh, I wanted some retro, because those are retro images from the National Geographic and other magazines. So I looked online on Etsy and I found some retro papers. Now these are made to be printed 12 by 12, which my printer doesn't do. So this is how it reformats it for this size of paper. But this one, I changed it so that it cut off parts of it, but the design is, the size is a bigger size. I'll show you that in a minute. But I like this design. That'll be a fun page. And there's that one. This is one that I reformatted to fit on this size. So this is the right scale that it was designed for. And this one is a bigger scale because I made it fill up as much as I could. So I have 3 different kits. These pastel ones are retro 1950s. Oh, the name of the shop is Studio Kitsch. And these are retro 1950s pages. So I thought these smaller pages, here's a difference you can see. This is a smaller scale because I blew this one up to fit the page better. But the smaller ones that I printed, I want to use for backgrounds, for tags and cards and whatnot. And you can see a larger scale of this design. So you can see what the difference is. So these pastel ones are retro 1950s pages, and then these brighter colored ones are summer kitsch. And the flamingos, you'll see why I didn't print all of them. There are more. So those are 2 different kits, and then I got a 3rd kit that has the retro signs, the summer signs. And they're JPEGs, I guess that's called, when they're individual, and then I printed 4 to a page. So these are, they have a lot of space around them, but I wanted small ones, so I printed them this way. Home is where you park your camper. So they have some signing, like this one has words on it, and this one's blank. This is blank, but here it says summer. I just thought these looked so 50s. Well, I didn't even realize. I didn't know that I had this. I had that clicked. So this is just like the thumbnail. So I printed it by mistake. And so this one printed on a separate page. All right, so that's the supplies that I have at the moment. Now for the covers. I had found in my wallpaper sample books 2 pieces of wallpaper, well actually 3, that would have a summer or ocean theme. And this one, I just thought I have to use this one. It's modern, but yeah, it looks retro, and it's got flamingos. That's why I had to print that flamingo, and this is a piece left over that I'll probably use somehow. So I have these cut to the size of the front and back covers, and this will be the spine, this polka dot fabric. And I'm using these back page of the big Currier and Ives calendars that I got a box full at the antique store. So I had to cut this down. It's a little bit of work to do it because it doesn't fit on a cutting board, and I had to figure out how to cut it down to this size evenly without using my cutter where I could cut straight. But I did it. I measured the height that I wanted, and then when I had my piece cut, I put it on my scoreboard, and I wanted the front cover, well, both covers, to be 6 inches and the spine to be 2. So I had it cut at 14 inches, and then I just scored it at 6 and 8. And then, well, when you do that, then that leaves 6 inches. So that's all I had to do was score it at 6 and 8. This was where it was folded. So that will have to be reinforced so it doesn't fold anymore. But this is the cover. I did some work on the second one, so we'll look at that and then do a little more work on it. So this will be on the front, and this will be on the back, and this will be on the spine. Let's take a look at the other one that I already started working on. We may do some stuff to this. We may come back and do some gluing. Oh, one thing I got at the flea market today, well, a few things. These hibiscus cards. I had said in my haul video that I could use these in an upcoming project, or a couple of them, and this is one of them. So they're just playing cards. That one's pretty, with a hibiscus on them. It says Hibiscus Hawaii. And this is one of the note cards that I got in the box of things, box of paper and cards. And then this shopping list, I thought I might use that in here. So this is the second cover. You can see that I put some cardstock in the center here. But I used, actually this is 2 pieces of wallpaper. This piece right here, there was a lot of space between the shells, and these are just wallpaper samples. So it's not like I had a lot to choose from. So I chose this one for the cover because these 2 shells would be visible, and then this I had to cut off of a separate piece and glue it on here, the little seahorse. And on this one, this part of the shell was visible and the starfish. So this fish was cut from a different wallpaper piece, and so was this. And I added the sand dollar here, and then I added the fish. And I thought I would leave the cover, the inside cover, just for fun. But there was an octopus, part of an octopus. All you could see was this part at the top part of the wallpaper that I had. It's the one with the fish on it. So I meticulously fussy cut this all out, and I'm going to glue this here and this one on the back. And this part has some coral, so I'm going to glue that as a pocket here. And there's a little fish head that was poking in one side, so I might, no, I think I found a place for that, but it wasn't here, because I want to put the back side of this fish. I don't know if this is a sailfish or a swordfish or a marlin. I do not know. I don't really care. I'm not a fish person. So I want to just kind of wrap that around and have it glued on this side. So let's do that first, because that's going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, that's lined up just where I want it. Not sure how to do this. That's where the top part will go. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't think anybody's going to go, is that all lined up? But, you know, I can try. And you can see this one has the fold in it here, so I will put something on this to help reinforce that. I got the lemon ones done quickly, pretty quickly, less than a week. And I'm still waiting for the stamps to come from Etsy or eBay so I can start the next project that I had in line. So I'm just continuing on with my the seasonal journals that I want to get done. The project that I'm waiting on is not a seasonal one. So I've lined it up with my pencil marks. And that's pretty good. And I should not have put glue on this part of his tail, but I did, so I have to let that dry, and then I'll cut it off. In the meantime, I will add my pocket here. Well, maybe I had the fish head on this pocket. I knew I found a place for it. Yeah, that's where it goes. So this was a good size wallpaper sample book. Oh, no, not on the top. It's a pocket. Pay attention. As you can see, I cut this with my wavy cutter. To look like ocean. So this piece was bigger than my cutter, and the wallpaper pieces were bigger than my cutter, so it was a little tricky. Took some work to get the pages and the cover, these pieces and the cover, cut to the size and cut evenly, but I prevailed. I do want to do some work on making ephemera with photo slides, because that is my next stashistry. And I have some ideas. So I just wanted to get some covers made and get a little bit of a start on this, and then maybe tomorrow I will start doing some of the slide stuff. And my Let's Use It challenge, the next Let's Use It challenge is the Big Shot. So cutting things with my cutting dies. So I know I will cut some things for this journal with my dies, but I want the Let's Use It challenge to be not for the current project. Some of it can be, but some stuff that I can cut and have ready in my stash. Some dies that I don't think to use. I have a lot of dies, and I just want to use some that don't get used much and have things ready. So I don't really want these journals to be ocean themed. They're summer themed, so that could be any kind of vacation, picnic. I'm not including a lot of gardening stuff. There's a little bit in that children's book, I think, but most of my images from the National Geographic that I wanted to use where on the ocean, on the boats, on the water, that kind of thing, but not necessarily ocean themed journals, you know. But this is definitely an ocean themed cover. Oh, I used this fabric sample too. It's like a polished cotton, and it wasn't quite, one piece wasn't quite long enough, so I cut another piece, and it is wrapped around the edge, but it's covered up with that piece. So I like that you can see this fun calendar font through the all behind these elements that I'm adding. I don't know what I'll do on the inside of the flamingo. Looks like the Florida journal. Well, this edge of the octopus got chopped off because that was the edge of the wallpaper sample, but I just let it be. So I used up a lot of pieces from that, the octopus and a little bit of coral and the fish head poking out. Thankfully the big fish was a full piece, wasn't cut off at all. Of course I'm going to cut a little bit off in the sand dollar. But the other things were just pieces, but it was fun to be able to figure out how to use them. It's still sticky, so I'm going to not cut that off yet. All right, so now we have this, and the first thing I had done was glue these pieces on, so that's an easy enough thing to do. Okay, those pieces are glued on. I did not talk while I was gluing because I'm planning on cutting that out. Hopefully I did. There's one more thing I want to do to this one. I can cut that off now. This, you probably noticed, isn't quite long enough. So I have this piece of fringe that I'm going to attach. And I don't know, it's just the right length for all of it, but I don't think I want it on the spine. I think I'll just have it on the front and the back. So, this was cut off of something because it's a little bit, this part is a little bit uneven. And I want it to be wide enough to cover all of that. But I want it to be a little more even. So I'm just going to trim a little bit. Good. Oh, these are macrameed together. I think I want it on both the front and the back. That glue thread. Yes, I do. some glue on my finger and I got it on my fish. Well, this is shaping up to be a fun journal. And I'll put something here, some kind of a label or a title or something. All right, back to this one. I'm going to put this piece here. I might want it to be smaller, narrower. No, I'm going to leave it that width. And I just need it to be enough to fold over on either end. I just got this polka dot fabric a couple weeks ago at that flea market that I went to today. Today's Monday. I filmed my flea market haul, but you'll see these videos not on Monday. Gotta get rid of that blob of glue on the end. So if you wanted to make a journal like this, if you have wallpaper that you want to use and you don't have these calendar pieces, look and see what kind of packaging you have. A box with a 2-inch or so spine, whatever size spine you want, could be like the side edges, the side panels of the box. No, I don't want to do that yet. I have to put glue on this part. And then you can just remove one panel and remove the flaps, and you can cut down the box if you need to. It doesn't have to be these calendar pieces. There was some dark illustration here. You can see it through there. And I could have painted it like I've done before, put gesso on it or put some ivory paint down, but maybe I'll just put a trim down there after the book is sewn together. This is a polished cotton and it's not fraying, but this one has a little bit of fraying on the edge. I may add some kind of a trim or ribbon here, but this is what I picked out to go on the bottom. Kind of looks like a hula skirt. So this is not a Florida. I said it wasn't a beach journal. It's not a Florida journal. It's not a Hawaii journal. It's just a summer journal. So it can have all kinds of elements in it. I'm just going to cut this in half. That way I know I'll have the same amount for both sides. I think one of my viewers was concerned yesterday. Yesterday was Mother's Day and I had a video posted. I think one of my viewers was concerned that I didn't take Mother's Day off. But I assure you, I did. I didn't do any work in here yesterday. My son took me out for lunch after church. My daughter was working. But after she had been home for a little while, I went to her house and took some chocolate cake. she's going to be here. They're coming here for supper tomorrow. She's been wanting my homemade beef stew with dumplings. So I'm doing that for them tomorrow. So she'll probably, she said she has a gift for me, but it wasn't prepared, wasn't wrapped or whatever. So I'm sure she'll be bringing that tomorrow. So I did take Mother's Day off. It's just I make videos ahead of time. And I don't try to have, I don't make an effort really to have a video every day. But once I get busy with, you know, going to flea markets, that fills in some days too. So I've been doing a video a day for a while, but I won't always have a video up every day. Now on the inside, I just put a piece of this patterned cardstock. I don't know. I could use the same one because it matches the colors on this. It's this paper, but I already cut one of them, so just need to find the cut one. Here it is. So I don't know if I told you that it's 14 inches by 9 inches. I told you the 14 part, but I don't think I told you the 9. I am not going to score this before I glue it down, because if I don't have those score lines matched up exactly, it will cause a problem. Let's see if I want to add some decorations from this page. I could add this little piece. That would be a fun pocket. You can see where the bend in the cover is better on this side. When I'm done with this video, I will go visit my mother for Mother's Day. My brothers go every Sunday morning and have breakfast with them. Sometimes Mom cooks pancakes or something for them, and sometimes they go out to a little diner. But they spend Sunday mornings with my parents, so I know she wasn't left alone. I mean, my dad's there, but, you know, all mothers want to see their kids on Mother's Day, right? And then my sister went out later, so I can go today. All right, hopefully I cut out a bunch of cutting. I'm not done cutting this because I've decided I'm going to put this part of a tree here, but it's cut off there. So I had already cut this piece off. I'm just going to add it here. I'll cut this leaf away. I know it doesn't all fit, but it's a little bit abstract in its design and the artwork, so I think it'll work to just have that at the bottom. And you can still see some of the stuff behind it. Let's see, where are we? 47, and I'm going to cut stuff out, so we should be good. I'm just going to go ahead and close the video out now. And if I decide to add anything to it, I will, because I may sew around these covers. Let me fold this, though, while you're here. I think it's dry. So I have to make sure I have the original fold lines. Easy enough to find them once you start. Ta-da! That'll be really fun. I love that wallpaper. I love the color scheme of it. All right, so I have to carry on with my day, go visit my mother, etc. And I don't know when I'll get back to this. I may be doing something with slides next. But you will see whenever the next video comes out. I'll see you then, and I hope you have a creative day. Bye.